First, I'll be discussing more on like what was my journey with regard to anthropology specifically. So I had started preparing in 2019 from Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, and I had decided to take anthropology as well. How I chose the optional, I'll come to that. And then when it comes to preparation, I was doing self-study. So then I prepared 2019 and I gave the 2020 attempt prelims, which I couldn't clear. And before 2020 also, if you remember, there was a 4-month extension because of the lockdown. So then during that time, I could properly do paper 1 of anthro. So by the first prelims, I was ready with paper 1 of anthro. Paper 2, I had done something, but I was not very confident about it. So then I thought after not clearing prelims, I had already enrolled for the test series, hoping that I would clear the prelims, but I couldn't clear the CSAT paper. So after the prelims, again I thought I'll get around 5 to 6 months, because the exam was in June 2021 initially. They planned to do it in the end of May, first week or June, I don't remember properly. So, but then I had some time to do paper 2 thoroughly and take a test series. So my strategy was to take a test series before the prelims itself. So which I did. So I did the sectional tests of L2A during the time period between October 2021 till March or April 2021. I mean October 2020 to April 2021. But then the exam got postponed again. So then again I got another 4-5 months. So by then I had already prepared paper 1 and paper 2 and I had given the sectionals. So again I got some time to revise. So then another iteration of revision, and here what I did was that I just took whatever was freely available in the internet. I got some test series. Whatever, it was just some questions from 2017, some old expired test series, and every week I kept the sectional test target as if I'm going to attempt a mains like in September, and I did this test series between that month of May till whenever as soon as the exam got postponed, I started doing as if I am preparing for mains. Like I did GS and optional, both I did before prelims, before around just 1 month before prelims, and until then I was doing this. So again, so I did around two sets of test series before prelims. Then after prelims, again I did another set of test series at L2A, properly enrolled one again. So including that I did three. So this is what I was doing from the preparation way. So then I will come into the details. So choosing anthropology optional, is everyone here already enrolled once, not that for anthro? Okay, so when I will just briefly describe so that others who are hearing it might find it useful. So I had some criteria for choosing an optional, and the major one was curiosity and interest in the subject. So I had decided to take anthropology way back in college when I had decided I will prepare. I went through the syllabus of all these things. Anyways, I had to take a fresh optional because my background is computer science engineering. So then I took anthropology. I saw the syllabus and I found it very interesting and I wanted to study it. But then I did not know whether you need guidance or whether it is good optional, bad optional, no idea, but I like the subject. Then after coming to preparation, I came to know that, like I think Anudeep Duresh Shetty sir got AIR1. Then I came to know it is a very popular optional, so many people are scoring marks, so success rate is also good. Then resources are also available. By then Basme sir's book was there. Then I already knew someone who had given mains and he was also getting good marks, but at that point he was not clearing. So I will get some kind of help also from someone who has given mains. So these were some of the considerations, and again I had a natural curiosity. And then I had to decide whether I should take coaching or whether I should do self-study. So since I was from Trivandrum and I did not want to take online test series, online classes which were not that popular back in 2019, people usually used to go for offline classes. So then I decided, okay fine, I'll do it by myself. I decided to do self-study. So then this were the considerations I made, and then I started getting all the books available in the market, all the standard sources. So then when it comes to the self-study approach or how I did the study part, So in this 2019 time, I was already attending GS classes for say 9 to 1. So then I had rest of the day for optional and GS, and I used to study optional for around 5 to 6 hours every day. So around I can say 4 to 6 hours every day on an average basis. So this was also a fixed time period, like from 2 p.m. to say maybe 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. I used to study. Then at that particular point, what I did was, again I divided the areas are there, physical, socio-cultural, and I already had a good background with biology. So I started with physical anthropology, because that is some part where we can read and understand, because it's more scientific and I am from a science background. So then I took physical anthro, and it took around few months to complete, around 3 to 4 months I took for physical anthropology alone. Say that's 9.1 to whatever those topics are, 9.1 till 12 I could finish. Then when it comes to socio-cultural anthropology, I was reading, but then I was having some issues. The theory parts and all I couldn't understand properly. But then again, I did not get stuck with it, and I did not stay months for it. I just properly read it properly once, the whole syllabus, from whatever the standard sources are, like the books. Actually initially I did not read Ubadhyay. I think I've written Ubadhyay for theories, but initially I did not read that book. Initially I only did the Basme sir's notes were available, that I did, and I think I also did, I don't remember, but I was reading some popular sources available at that point for theories, but my understanding was very limited. The University of Alabama one, but it was very limited. So then after that, what I did was, I thought I'll move forward. Then I had to do archaeology. By then it was some December or January of that preparation. That means then I'll have to stop at some point and I have to go give my prelims. So then somehow I covered archaeology as well. And then in some 1 or 2 months I was simply reading those caste studies, village studies, those areas, and tribal also. Actually I only read Nadeem Hasnain and Sasa committee. So that report also I read. Apart from that, I did not do much for paper 2. And answer writing was also not like every day I was not writing. Occasionally I would write and send it to my friend who had given 2-3 mains. Then he would assess and tell me what is lacking. So then I gave prelims with this, then there was this 4-month period before when prelims got postponed. So during that time period, there is this Telegram channel, Team Anthro. Okay, it's a very big community for anthropology optional, right? They started a community approach where we'll do an answer writing approach. Every day we will write few answers, and we will see, we can peer review. So during that time, that was lockdown time, we had some 10 to 20 people who seriously wrote every day. So they would put some topics, some of the chapters, and we have to study that, and we have to write the questions they have given, and someone else will review it. We can also review other people's answers. So I kept in my mind, so some people will, it's okay, they started saying hashtag good answer if it is really good. So I used to keep these micro targets. So I wanted to get hashtag good answers. That was my only target. So initially I would never get, okay, there were others who used to write with, but slowly I started getting the hashtag good answers. So it used to be a good reinforcement, right? These are the small joys we get during the preparation. So it was helpful, and so paper 1 was properly completed. Again, paper 2 we did write, but then everybody started preparing for prelims, and then that free initiative, it ended there. But it was a good community approach. It helped me improve my answer writing a lot during that initial 4 periods before my first prelims, for 4 months before my first prelims. So then after prelims, then I started doing the test series. So again during test series, I am doing paper 1 again, right? So what I want to tell is this multiple iterations, this is where you get to understand the subject better. Every time you read, do the subject, you are becoming more and more good at that subject. The understanding you had once will completely change in the second iteration. So paper 1, I thought I am very good at paper 1 because I did answer writing, so I revised it, right? But again in that second round of revision, I was like again finding new things. So there is another thing. So I try to bring so much value added content into my preparation in my notes, because what I thought was that in anthropology, since so many people are opting, and you know the advantage, right, they might ask direct questions. So direct question means we can anyways write. I mean, this time the paper was easy, and I think all the serious aspirants completed the paper, because everybody knew, I think except for the thermoluminescent dating there was one question. Other than that everybody knew everything else, so everybody will write answers. So we need that, you know, extra content. The same answer if someone else is writing, if it is having, you know, so much more, then that is what can help us get good marks. We might get that half mark or 1 mark extra, right? So this was my focus area. So every topic, even if I had a note, I made a point that I am finding new things. But then you will reach a point where, you know, you will feel, okay, I have enough points, because we will have to by heart also, right? So, so this value addition is the part I was focusing on in that second round of revision when I was taking the test series for the first time. So again, when I am taking test series, the paper completion, all those aspects are again coming into question. Okay, so I will go into that later. But anyways, this is what this is how, you know, while self studying, I was discovering more about the subject. So, but then when I started taking test series, I got help from Bala sir. So then, like he told, I used to constantly call him. I would call him, why? Because, you know, I am studying one portion. I only need assurance that I am what my understanding, what I understood from reading, I have to know whether it is right or no, wrong. Because in this socio-cultural anthropology and some other parts, no, that conceptual understanding is very important. Like once you have this conceptual understanding, especially for the thinkers and some particular areas are there, no, if you have the conceptual understanding, you can use it anywhere. That content, it will have multiple uses. And sometimes I myself was surprised at the ways in which I could you know, use the topics I understood completely. And I got the confidence also. But then again, since I am not an anthropology student, like, you know, and did not do my graduation in anthropology, I wanted to ask someone whether this is right or wrong. So I used to ask Bala sir, this is what I understood, can I use it here in this portion, like this interlinking. Many toppers used to tell, no, you have to interlink. But before interlinking, we will have the doubt whether it is right or wrong. So that is where I was asking Bala sir, sir, I want to interlink like this. Is it good or not? So this is what I was doing during that first time test series. Then again paper 2 I was very bad at, right? So then I started watching some of his classes, and some of the, you know, this test discussions, no, those were also available. From these I got some again value added content, and I did read some sociological contents for paper 2, especially this caste studies and village studies. So in actually there is a book, I don't remember, it is some Singh. If you are in my Telegram channel, I will post the book's name later, because it covers the caste study in detail. It is not a popular source, not popularly available source, but it covered the caste studies in much detail, like, and it also had you know, original articles by thinkers like M.N. Srinivas sir, then F.G. Bailey. All those thinkers are there, you know, their original article was there in that book. And you know, another peculiarity is that those were smaller articles, and that will be focusing on 1 or 2 topics. So from that, no, we will get very unique points that, you know, only that author has done. I think so. I think I have read some original articles in this sense by Kathleen Go, so many other things I got from this book. The book's name I am not able to recollect, but I will post it in the Telegram channel. The entire book list I will be posting in the Telegram channel. So this extra reading was really helpful, and not only for caste and village studies, most of the topics I started going for the original, you know, the original person who has studied it. He might have written some book, no, and we will write the book in the answers. But I went to the book, I will get the PDF of the book, and I will read the summary part, or something will be there, summary or some conclusion will be there. But from there we can pick up 2-3 points. That is very authentic also, right? We don't have to fear while writing that in our answers. Did this say this person say this or not? Like for example, I often got this example. there is this study by Jha Saraswati and LP Vidyarthi on sacred complex of Kashi. So, but we always write about sacred complex of Gaya. But I took the book and I read some summary portion and I got an understanding about the sacred complex at Kashi. So there again they are discussing how the commercial aspect came, then how with time so many changes came, like they were telling there were digital boats for pujas and all, but those are the modern aspect that is coming into the old sacred complex. So these kind of unique points I got from this book. Then I am writing as these people told like this. Again when it comes to this again sacred complex, there are so many other thinkers. There's one, I don't remember the book's name. There's one thinker who did comparative study between Janakpuri and that one town in Nepal and one town in India. Both are sacred complex, how they are interlinked. And there are also studies about how the sacred complex across the country is interlinked and how it is helping in bringing cultural transmission. So many such extra studies are there. I did not go into the detail of it, but I just got the gist of it. Like we create case studies. It will be very short, right? Case study, we'll put the thinker's name and we will have say 4 to 5 sentences, but the gist of it will be there. Like that I did the extra reading for this sacred complex. Even for nature, man, spirit, this is available. So this I did. This is easily available in Google, but you will have to search a lot to get it. Maybe you will have to spend say 2 to 3 hours and you might get say 2 to 3 case studies like this externally, like extra reading. So this kind of study and all I did before that. I mean after failing my first prelims, this is how I was exploring the subject, and it is during this time period that I got so much value added content. And again I was writing answers, so that answer writing part and that value added content and answer writing was both improving slowly. So then okay, I will do one thing now. I will take the book list and I will tell you how I used each of these books. I think that will bring more clarity. So we will start with physical anthropology, where my basic source was Pnath. I only read Pnath in the first iteration, but it is very confusing. Like some portions we won't get the exact understanding. We will read it, but then we will be like we will be confused, like we don't get the conceptual clarity. So what I did was I started watching small YouTube short videos. Like say there is this concept called epigenetics, and it's not there in Pnath, but I'm just telling epigenetics. You can watch say 5-minute, 10-minute videos will be there, which will clearly explain what that is to you. Why? Because we need this understanding first. But for note making, that video itself is not going to be helpful. We might have to rely on some other source, but this kind of videos I used to watch for all the smaller topics, like I think in physical anthropology there were topics like this mutation and Mendelian genetics, and like topics like polygenic inheritance, where apart from having examples and apart from a definition, we should know what exactly it means, so that these examples will naturally come to us. We won't have to by heart the examples anymore then, because we understood it. Then we will think, is this an example for that? Like we start applying the knowledge, that is when we get the clarity. So this is what I try to achieve in most of the areas. Then there are also some portions for which there is content, there is low content, like foster child, or then chromosomal analysis, cytogenetic method. These contents, these topics, the contents available in the common sources are very less. So I have seen most people just settling with that. But if you search deep, you will get it. From where? From these YouTube short videos. They may not be specifically for UPSC, but there will be some available for some master level program for biotechnology or some other class they will take, and they will be giving this PPTs will be there, no? In the PPT you will get more content for this cytogenetic methods and all. And again another thing, the next level is like, so there are some cytogenetic methods, then what you can do, but then in one PPT you got the names of it. But again you can go deeper and get more understanding from these methods. If you search the method name, there will be someone explaining the method. So you just need to take the explanation, because once you understand the explanation, the method, how it is done, then you can write it in 1 or 2 lines. But there you are using that method, and then I am not recollecting the names exactly, but I think there are things like why I am not telling is, maybe if at all I am wrong, then it will be bad. So there were some topics like fish, FISH. Fish technique, right? Is it a cytogenetic method? Yeah. Yes. Fish method is there. No, FISH, right? So it's the full form for that. Do you remember? I will Google and see otherwise. So it's, see, this is like this is a very popular method. Huh? Yes. So this fluorescence in situ hybridization. So these are actually popular things in the field. Those who are in the field will know it, but as an aspirant we may not be aware of it. But if you just Google, or you just watch one short video, you will get an understanding of this. Then you can just make a very short brief note of that and keep. So that if at all this topic comes for 10 marker, or what if this fish method itself might come for 10 marker, it can't happen, right? So just have some content with which you can explain it, so that itself means that you are standing apart from others. That itself will make you stand out. So this kind of study I used to do for physical anthropologists, especially this area. Again, this biochemical method, they are just saying this. There can be so much inside that. Again, immunological methods, so many subparts are there. Someone from medical background will know the immunological methods. So many things are there actually in that. But it is better to get at least some understanding about what these methods are, at least 3-4 methods. Then you can write it in your note in your very 1 or 2 lines and keep. Otherwise the content is very less for these topics. So what I am telling is, don't settle with the content you have for this topics that nobody is having content. If you don't settle, if you make your own content from however you can find. Because internet means it's not only for UPSC people. There are other people, subject experts. They also need the content. Somewhere in the internet, content will be there for all these topics. That is one thing we should we should tell ourselves, and we should find it. That can help you bring that value addition. So then again, so that was 9.1, and then 9.2, I think mostly everybody will know the content is available. There what you can do more is about that structuring of the answer. That is where you can improve, because most people will have content for that, and that conceptual understanding also is kind of it is not very difficult to understand 9.2. Again, 9.3 is one portion which you should link with 9.4 and study. I linked 9.4 and 9.3 together in my preparation, because there also this evolution and so many other things are being spoken, and I used to link some of the topics there. In synthetic evolution we study some topics, right? Again, here we also study about mutation, isolation, all those things. It is better to club both. So that is how I was studying. Here again, PNAD content I relayed mostly, but apart from PNAD, I also did some external reading for genetic polymorphism. Mendelian population is very hard to find, right, content. So, but again, don't settle, find it from somewhere, just have 10 marker content at least. Yeah, so this is how I was doing this 9.1, 9.2, 9.3. Again, 9.4, you can actually improve 9.4 content by going to Wikipedia also. Wikipedia, they have given so many subdivisions. Like I will just tell, suppose we are taking Down syndrome. In Wikipedia, they have so many subdivisions in it, like after explaining some, they have given signs and symptoms, diagnosis, prognosis, epidemiology, then society, culture. So from this I got so many dimensions with which I can write the answer, like prognosis, then diagnosis, then treatment, and so this is like a standard framework. I had a standard framework. Then again, the cultural aspect will also be discussed, how these people will be, how these people faces other issues from society and all, those portions also I added there. So this is how that structural part I was bringing difference. In the answer writing, that I created a structure for this all these aberrations and kept, because this can be a direct question, and if they ask and we are bringing all these points, now we will get at least 1 or 2 mark extra. So we can bring these kind of innovation in those areas where content is easily available, and for their content is not easily available, the value addition will obviously give the content for you. Then also there are some topics where people usually settle, like genetic imprint, genetic screening, genetic counseling, human DNA profiling, gene mapping and genome study. What I did for this initial 9.1 I told, the same can be done for this 9.4D, where you can you can make you can bring so much value added content. Again, there is one approach I followed throughout throughout my preparation in GS and as well as in anthropology, that is bringing so many subdivisions under one topic. How much ever subdivision I can bring, I would try to bring. Like suppose it is say genetic counseling. So genetic counseling means one standard definition we can give. If at all we can give a thinker, it will be nice. Then for genetic counseling it will be more like steps, right? So the steps also we have to write. Then we can also write the target group for whom this genetic counseling is needed. Then what are the common mistakes in genetic counseling, like how not to give the genetic counseling, that is also important, right? Then what is the significance of genetic counseling, then what is the limitation of genetic counseling, then what is the recent advancement which we can bring in the way forward conclusion. So many subheadings. So these are the different dimensions. So some of this dimension will be some I will be having, or very few people will be having. This will stand out, because some of the other procedure and all everybody will write. So this is how I used to bring so many dimensions. I hope that idea is clear. Then again, race and racism, that portion I also used BM Das there. BM Das and EPG Pathshala, everybody is aware of EPG Pathshala, right? So those PDFs I used to look into for extra content, and sometimes I did IGNU as well. I think in race and racism again I did IGNU content also. Again, no, for race and racism, try to bring some other thinkers, other than the ones who are I think everybody will write that Ashley Montague, then that UN statement is there, everybody will write that, but you can bring so many other thinkers. There are, it's again, please note these down, the ones I am telling that I will tell later. What I will do is, after going home, I will get the content from my notes and I will tell specifically what were those extra thinkers, and then you can Google this thinker and then you will also get the understanding. Because if you are reading my notes, from this thinker I will have written only that one sentence or whatever I am going to write in the final answer, but you won't get the understanding. Without the understanding, application level knowledge you won't get. So you won't know which, how differently you can use the same statements these people are talking about. Also you might have been you might have read about one thinker had done this anthropometric measurements of people from different races living in different countries, like Japanese people in USA. Those kind of case studies are there. That is also, I think now it is becoming again commonly available, but so that is again another case study that I used to write. That is again still I don't think it is commonly available. So those kind of extra content I used to bring for even racism, that topic. Then I think race crossing is given in BM Das, not sure, but somewhat it is there. Race crossing, again please Google this kind of topic, race crossing in man, how you can, and once you get the, like basically race crossing means what will happen if two races are intermixing, what can happen. So then again, even that United Nations statement was talking that race crossing is, it is not going to create any problem. So that statement you have to bring there, that is the application I was talking about. So like that, so many other content we can bring, like race crossing is very common, right? From our knowledge also we can bring some example. And if you have doubts in such issues, ask a mentor whether this can be applied, whether this is also a valid example. Like if at all you have your own examples coming up while studying these portions, ask a mentor or someone who is good in anthropology whether it can be used. Then again this genetic marker and genetic marker portion, I only did that Akshat Jain sir's book is there, no? I only did content from there. Yeah, and I think I also read brain tree for this particular topic, but my content here was very less. And PNAD also has some content for this respiratory functions and sensory perceptions. There is some portion written. Again that was useful. Again this HLA and all, PNAD is also helpful for this 9.6. Then 9.7 Ecological Anthropology. Here I did so many additional readings. Like this man's responses to environmental stresses, everybody will have the same content. So what I did was that I started googling what are these adaptations of, we know the regions, Peruvians are there, then in high altitude, then Ladakh is there, no? What particularly these people are doing, there are so many PDFs available in very much detail, but we don't need that much detail, but there will be some summary of all that, they will all write summaries in the end, no? From the summary I will pick 2-3 points, but it will be like some some point that I might be writing like that. So then like that you can look at the groups, tribal groups or other populations who are living in these extreme stressed areas. From there you can bring your own unique examples. Then when it comes to epidemiological anthropology, Lakshmi Nagappan ma'am had given some content. There is one video available. From that video you can get so many examples. But once you understand those examples, you can again go and Google and collect lots of examples. So what I did was, in epidemiological anthropology, I collected around some 10 to 20 case studies. Then I kept them. Then like this, I used to ask sir like how I can apply it, how I can apply each of this, and then after some time we will bring up with our own things, like like I think I asked about some of the tribes, they don't take salt. So they have goiter, some of the tribal people in India. So then I asked sir whether that is also we are linking how some condition is happening because of the culture. So then it comes under epidemiological anthropology. Like, I mean, this is not epidemiological anthropology specifically, but I think it can come under non-infectious, right? Non-infectious diseases, that is there in the topic. So in non-infectious diseases, again I was bringing this because how culture is affecting that particular condition among that tribe. Again, even we can quote examples of how malnutrition is causing issues in some children in this non-infectious aspect part. Again, in infectious aspect part, we can link how this ecological anthropology is there, like there will be some particular environment, in that environment one tribe will be flourishing, but they will have so much adaptation to live in that ecology. If you take some particular case study, you will see there will be some particular adaptation related to how they are adapted to the health conditions, that infectious diseases that can occur in that particular ecology as well. I think the easiest example is that malaria one, like in malaria prone area, but that is available, that everybody knows. But like this, so many other examples are there. So if we take some time, we can find out, and if you have that curiosity, you can definitely find that out. But the thing is, it's a bit time consuming, but the point is, in optional, if you are reading so much, it is always beneficial, but please don't take the entire thing and write it in your notebook. In the notebook, write it in such a way that you can use it for your answer. That should be there. But I don't think reading extra content for optional is like, that is needed. Even if you spend so much time, if you can afford to spend so much time, then it will be really helpful. In the end, it will all work out. Then, so this is what I was doing for epidemiology. Actually, I even read that MBBS people have one book, community medicine. Actually, I went and read that book to get few points. You can take some content from that. You are from MBBS. We can take some content from it. Community medicine book is actually helpful. So even in that topic, we can also keep some solutions in hand. If at all we are writing an answer and we are giving some solutions in which how this as an epidemiological anthropologist how we can solve things. It is, and in that part we can use one example from Akshat sir's book. One example is there, maybe you might be knowing about that burial. There was one issue when one infectious diseases came and Ebola, right? Yes, so that is one solution sir had given. So similar solutions you can, if you find, you can write it. Then again chapter 10 is again, if you read extra reading it will be beneficial. Again I did EPG more or less EPG. And this NCERT biology I actually wrote for those Mendelian 9.1 to 9.4 those areas. Again there this NCERT biology was helpful. Yeah, for 10 and all, 10, 11, 12 those areas EPG was helping me get additional content. Applications again Akshat sir's book has really good content, but we can value add with content from Pinath. Pinath has so much content, but again trim it down and take those points that we can use in an answer, because it is really big, that portion in Pinath, but take points from that and form answers. Like and then again this area fertility, fecundity, that also you can Google and get points, but apart from Googling we can sit and think like natality, mortality, we can think of biological factors, we can think of socio-cultural factors, we can brainstorm and develop content. Then ask someone who is who has knowledge in it, and you can then know whether the content is correct or not. So that also I used to do. So some of these areas where these factors are coming in, socio-cultural also, in paper 2 also there are areas like some factors will be coming, we can brainstorm, and sometimes GS content can be applied here. Something we will know from common knowledge or some other extra reading. All we need is somebody to tell, someone authentic to tell, you can write that, then you can write it. So that is there. So this is what I did for physical anthropology. Then socio-cultural anthropology, again I had some conceptual understanding issues. And one more thing, chapter 8 I supplemented ICNU, there is one unit for research method, that and Akshat sir's one chapter is there. So in that chapter itself I added extra content from ICNU material, then I just kept that content. So that was my note for chapter 8. Again for chapter 7 Akshat sir's book was there, and I don't think I wrote it here. Then I did Ember and Ember, there is one chapter on this language and culture, how it is affected. So that, then they started asking more in-depth questions from Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. So Sapir-Whorf hypothesis again I did I did YouTube videos and Googled and tried to understand it in depth so that I can apply it. That application level knowledge is what we need in those kind of topics where content is not available in adequate amount. Then again in this like I wanted to tell something. Yes, so chapter 7 I will write here. So chapter 7 and 8 it is Akshat sir's book. Plus IGNU for chapter 8 plus extra reading. And again for this chapter 7, this Sapir-Whorf hypothesis specifically, I found a new source that it is an encyclopedia on socio-cultural anthropology. If you Google it, you will get a big PDF. It is a 1000-page PDF. It's a big encyclopedia. But the thing is, it's an encyclopedia, so you can specifically go to these topics and get content for it. So I took content for Sapir-Whorf hypothesis was in detail, explained in it. And there are some associated concepts with this, how language influences culture, culture influences language. There are some associated concepts. Suddenly I can't remember the phrase, that word. But when you go and read this, you will also find it. But so what I did was I tried to understand those concepts also and kept. Why? Because they started asking questions like that. Recently one question was there in 2021, Not related to this one. Transition stage, one question came, no? About one thinker's particular concept they asked specifically, no? In 2020. Yes. Yes, something luminality. Right. So, yeah, so these are associated contents, but those who have subject knowledge will know that these are important topics. But since we are preparing from, as an aspirant, we may not have heard of it, because in all the popular sources it is not available. So you need a 2 minutes break or something. And am I going very slow? Should I improve the pace of speed or something? Okay. So then the 2.125, no, like I said, I was using this encyclopedia for value addition. And if I was not able to find it, otherwise I would post that in the channel again, that encyclopedia. It is really helpful for getting that additional content, but we will have to take that effort, because it's a very big book. And again, there also that, how we make use of the book matters, because sometimes you will get content from the thinker's name, you will get the content. Sometimes directly the word will be there, from there you will get the content. It depends on how you make use of the book. That is more important. So from 2.1 till 5, this is what I was doing for value addition. Again, I think some of these portions I also took from Braintree. Some areas it is good in Braintree, so I took that Braintree content also. Apart from that, it was mostly Ved sir's book was there. One book is available. That book, and again value added with Akshat Jain sir's book and the encyclopedia, and then there is a book by D.N. Majumdar, right? There is one book, no? Do you know that book, Introduction to Socio-Cultural Anthropology? Yeah, it's a very old book. So, but from that book we can take so much content. But so much content is not like, there are so many other aspects in that book which we don't need, but we can pick points from that. For example, no, in that particular book, scope of anthropology is discussed, and he has given a good flow chart in very much detail. But usually we will write only those 4 branches as scope, no. Most people write those 4 branches and they will end it there. But he has written so many other. So if you go and explain all those sub branches he has given and draw the flow chart and write D.N. Majumdar gave this, that is that additional content we can bring. But now that I have told that, but like this you can find content. This is what I was talking about. So this I had. So this book was really useful. So it's like, I don't think I have read any book cover to cover, but it's like I would, if there is one topic and I want content for that topic, so I had already collected all the resources popularly available and all the books, and I kept them. Some of them I kept as PDF. Then if I need content for one particular topic, I will first check these books if it is having it, then I will take it. If it is not having it, then I will go to Google and then I will start looking for not so popular books, but books by original authors, or if some thesis paper will be there, some PDFs will be available, some master's level student or PhD level student has done some study, then that person might give the content. From that summary part we will get content. No, we cannot quote them, but the that point they have written or some case study they have written, no, those we can take, no, like that is just take the knowledge from there. Not their insights or anything, but there will be some knowledge, some factual thing they have written. We can apply that. The factual content they are having we can use. Like maybe it will be from that book you will be getting conceptual clarity. Maybe that person might have explained it better. Then you will get understanding. No? That is what I am trying. Or maybe they will give standard definition by some thinker we don't know about for some topic. From that paper we will be getting it. But again it is the thinker's definition. So we can take it like that. Then chapter 6, no, theories. Theories I did Upadhyay in detail. But it's like we can't take all the content from Upadhyay because it's so big. And I don't think it has the cultural materialism, such areas it is not discussed. There I actually also used EPG here. I also used EPG, then I did this Alabama University, then Harsha sir's book also, notes. This I think only for cognitive anthropology or some topic he had good content. Then Basme sir's notes also, this was the base content I had. Then I added, I improved my content with Upadhyay and Pandey book. Then again this additional reading is what I was talking about. In YouTube and Google, if you go and search, you will start finding more content on all those theories, like especially the ones that is not freely available, like cognitive theories and postmodernism, and then again like these are the areas where we need conceptual clarity, like symbolic theory is there, interpretative theory is there. Distinctly, if we can explain this to a non-anthropology person, then that means we have good understanding of that. But until then, we have to tell ourselves we don't know this portion properly, and if we try to improve it, then we can we can write, even if some difficult question comes from that topic, from the understanding we will be trying to apply. So that knowledge clarity, that can help, that can help us tackle tough questions, if at all they come. So then this is what I did. Again, here also I think there was one thinker, I got the name from Bala sir, Roy Rappaport Speaks for Ancestors. Have you heard of it? Yes, so his particular book we can use in multiple areas. You can figure it out. It has multiple usages. It can be used in cultural ecology, it can be used in ecological anthropology, then again it is also a criticism for cultural materialism. I think it's a criticism, yes. Then again cultural materialism, there is also one more example other than the one by Marvin Harris. Does someone know that? For cultural materialism, there is one more example other than the one by Marvin Harris. It is there in this Alabama University content. So that also, if we are writing, that will be some extra content. It is actually some explanation on feminism, like how feminism came into being. It is explained in this Alabama content, you know that, you have read about it. Okay. So like this we can value add content. So I think I covered physical and socio-cultural. Archaeology, archaeology is there, no? Yes. So this is another additional source I referred. So this had that content for, there was another question that was being very contentious, 2020. They asked a culture, yes, Natufian. So this was, the Natufian was slightly touched either in Muniratnam or in D.K. Bhattacharya's book. Somewhere I had already read that. So these two books, they will give more subject understanding when it comes to archaeology. Now D.K. Bhattacharya's book is really good, and his videos most of you have watched it, I guess. So, but I would suggest watching it multiple times to, so that it will sink into your head what exactly he is trying to say. So I had done it multiple times, his videos, then I read the book. Then again he has detailed about those dating techniques. Then again tool technology, this is given very much in detail in D.K. Bhattacharya. Yes, so but it is also there in EPG Pathshala, but I am talking about his book. D.K. Bhattacharya's book has all this in depth. But they can ask, what are the tool techniques and how that technique is, But there again, if you have proper understanding, what is pecking or what is, like, I am not able to remember the. Yes, so if you can understand pressure flaking, but some of them we understand from the commonly available sources. I think pressure flaking and all we know, but again there are some confusing topics like Clactonian. So he has explained it properly in the book. So from the book you will get the understanding. Again, the videos also he has explained some of them clearly. So if you also write it in your own words after getting the understanding and keep, if at all some question comes, it can be tackled. So I did that, but my answer would be like, say, my note would be like, say, 2 or 3 pages, but it will comprehensively cover that part. Then when Akshat Jain's book was also useful because it gave the structure, but again I brought some more improvisation on the structure, so that it would, somewhat extra additional dimension will be there. Then this was another topic from paper 2, but it has less content. So I value added Basme sir's book, Akshat Jain sir's book, then I also added content from internet. We can find more. Especially this Narmada man controversy, it was actually a huge thing which I did not know in my initial readings. But it is associated with the evolution of man and dispersal of man, and whether they originated in India. So many contentious debates happened around Narmada man's discovery. So if you go and dig a little bit deeper, you will get more content for that. Again, it is also connected with these two. This, there has been so many debates, and there is so much content available online. So this is the additional reading I did there. Then I also covered this. Then I think I did, yes, Telugu Academy, I will come to Telugu Academy, that notes are available, Telugu Academy books, I think 5 books are there. Out of all that, I used primatology, I used that book, but the content for this primatology, I showed to sir. Then it had some errors, then it was corrected, like in my notes it got corrected. It may be from internet source or somewhere I had some error in that, so then I got it corrected. So why I said this, that any topic, if you get some content, some extra content or something you got, it is better to show someone who knows the subject well, because if at all we have one if at all we have written some blunder in our note, and if we write it in the answer, it will be very bad. So just make someone cross check it, because we are getting all this value added content, so it is very we have to be very careful with it. Then again, I think for evolution of man there are some theories, like synthetic theory, mutation theory. So there also I used this Telugu Academy, for which there was more content on pre-Darwinian theories, because mostly I have seen people pre-Darwinian theory, they only write this Lamarckism, but there are so many other theories. So it is better to collect 4 or 5 theories, whatever you like, because in that book I think they have given so many theories. If you just briefly write 4 or 5 theories and keep, that will be better. Then Darwinian and post-Darwinian, again it's not only synthetic theories, there are other theories. So that also, if you just collect 4 or 5 theories and keep, it will be better. Then Dole's rule, Cobb's rule, all of this Telugu Academy content only helped me. That from that book only I took the content. But then again for parallelism, convergence, adaptive radiation, mosaic evolution, that conceptual clarity I only got from YouTube videos. I had to watch so many more videos and get exact understanding of how they are. Then I started bringing examples myself. Then I would ask sir whether this is an example of this, like that. And then I would also bring standard definition for these parts, but I think that is freely available now. Yes. So this is how I did those portions. Then 1.1 to 1.3 I have not written here, right? It is here. So what I did for 1.1 to 1.3 is I took some content from this, like I told. Then there is this topical development of anthropology, right? Yes, development of anthropology. So this is one topic where we can bring our knowledge into action. Like in thinkers we are studying something initially from that E.B. Taylor onwards. So that also we can apply in this development of anthropology. So usually I think the most common content available right now is Akshat sir's material, that
what teacher opinion and E.B. Taylor has given is in timeline format, that development of anthropology. Can we use it?
Yes, that because it is part of development of anthropology, right? So we can briefly mention all those thinkers. Even that remember there is one there was some people went to the islands, no? Expedition was there, no? So that and all we have to mention because they are like breakthrough events in the development of anthropology. So what I would suggest is that sir has already given that 100 years of anthropology, one framework is there. Into that add more breakthrough events that you know. You can even add culture personality school because that is again advent of new things, right? So add all those things and bring it until 1990s. I brought until 1990s. I brought all this cognitive anthropology, all those things I added in the end. I did not stop at that 100 years. I think in that it stops at 1950s, right? 1850 to 1950 is the content in the standard source. But more content we can add from our knowledge.
From Indian perspective, it's different.
Yes, from Indian perspective it is slightly more different, but the chapter 6 content we can bring and add here. So that I did. Then scope also I told, no, I did not write the 4 branches, instead I did the other one. Again meaning also in this book, no, this book has around 11 or 12 definitions. I don't know if it's 11 or 12, anyways they had so many definitions of anthropology, like how Aristotle defined it. From there onwards he has given so many definitions, and then if you Google also a bit, it keeps on changing, and in towards the end this feminist anthropology comes into being, right? So that study of man became an issue. Then they had to change it to study of human. So many debates are there in this meaning of anthropology. It's a very big topic. So if you get the idea and if you make a very crisp note, say 1 page note with so many fingers, it will be good content.
And even in the definition of anthropology, there are many definitions, but all have some or other way they are not right.
Yes, that definition only that. Meaning means definition itself you can write.
So which definition we should use?
That is what we cannot say one definition and say this is the perfect definition, but we can use a definition that comprehensively covers our understanding of anthropology as of present day. And again you can check with someone authentically from the anthropology background to pick that definition. That is up to you. Okay, so I think I covered paper 1, how I studied. Then there is paper 2.
In thinkers, we all use the name of thinkers, the name of their book. Should we use the years of their book?
Yes, actually I did, because this was advised by, I don't remember, Anudeep sir itself, right?
Because
Initially.
they are many years,
Yes.
tend to forget the years.
We can study and
Yes, ma'am, multiple.
yes.
And ma'am, another thing, should we write the scholastic thing or should we write whatever we have understood broadly? Like you were
For-
telling, for theories.
For theories, see if you are writing, you have to get someone checked whether that understanding is correct, because it is very risky. The person correcting will have proper understanding, right? So there should not be any mistakes. So either you stick to what is being given or you check with someone whether it is good enough. So
Now, how to selectively pick and read thinkers, because there are there is a huge list of thinkers, but to selectively select those thinkers which will be relevant and not select.
actually what you can do is that in this thinkers, already some thinkers are there now in the syllabus, but there itself there will be some books that we all know, but some books we don't have understanding, like I think it's Get Your Powder Ready by Margaret Mead. There is a book. Margaret Mead. Keep your powder dry, keeping your powder dry or something like that. So that book, no, just get the summary of what that book is talking about. So keep it as extra content. Then you can also apply these thinkers differently. I was talking about, right? For instance, this Mead actually studies the behavior of adolescents in one island. Coming of age of Samoa, right? So Samoans adolescence period she has studied. So you can use it in. Can you tell?
Use dormitory.
No, I am asking where you can use. Dormitories is there, but yeah, actually I was talking about that adolescence itself is a portion is there, no, in physical anthropology. So adolescence 10 marker question can come. That also we can say, socio-cultural aspect. We can put a heading and we can say case study, Margaret Mead. I am telling how we can the topics have multiple applications. it is correct only, right? I mean, Mead has studied the socio-cultural part of adolescent life. We can use it there. So this is how that interlinking I was using.
And
So
what was your revision strategy? Because once the whole content is ready.
yes, actually yes, I will come to that. Now what I thought was that I thought I will tell you how I was studying so that you will get more clarity. Okay, so we are done with why you know I'm not talking about that now. My notes are clearly linked with my answers. Some of the topics I had proper pre-made answer, but that was my note. Then I only studied that. I took content from various sources and I made notes, but then I relied only on notes. Then I never went back to original sources. So even if I am using some in Akshat Jain, what I did was that I tore some, you know, chapter 7, chapter 8, I tore it completely, and in that I added, with pen I added content. So by then I had handmade notes, my own notes, this much big or something, you know, very much, some 300 pages note or something. I only did that. So revision is easy because it's my note only, you know, I am reading again and again. But the issue is when you are adding content to your note, you should understand it the next time you read it. That is where most people will have issue. Even I had issue because I had initially created 2 other set of notes, which was, you know, I couldn't even understand what I have written. So I had to, you know, then make new set of note that I did. I think after that 2020 prelims, no, during that time period only I started rewriting my notes. So during that time I made a proper note. That is why I thought I will talk about answer writing and note making together. That's what. So paper 1 complete. So then when it comes to paper 2, I don't have much to talk about paper 2. Book list, I don't have time to write it, so I will just mention and go. Later I will add this in the telegram. I will publish it. So in paper 2 archaeology is there, no. I did that clubbed with paper 1. Again, this extra reading, you know how it comes handy. In paper 2, there is this topic Indus Valley Civilization, and from Akshat Jain sir's book, I think everybody have content for decline of Indus Valley, right? But in paper 2 this time, they asked origin of Indus Valley. So, but I had content for origin of Indus Valley also. There are so many thinkers. So many thinkers did study there. So I had a content exactly like the one for decline I had, and the last one will be something, you know, aligned with the Indian understanding or something that is accepted in, you know, in our circles. So that will be the last one I will be writing. Other 3-4 will be from foreign thinkers or some other thinkers which is not valid now. The same format for decline of IVC, it is also there for origin. So I had the content, I wrote that. Again in this decline and origin, no, we can bring some innovation by writing criticism. Like one thinker has one theory, then criticism, some other thinker might have criticized it. So in there itself we can write and go, no. Like theory, criticism, that was my structure. So these were some extra elements I tried to bring, and I think I got the content from Muniratnam or it could be either Muniratnam or D.K. Bhattacharya, but somewhere I got the content. So this is what I wanted to tell. Again in paper 1, paper 2 also archaeology, please do extra reading. Then 1.2 also I discussed. 1.3 is something I don't know how, I mean it had very less content, right? So I remember one day we had like that answer writing initiative was going on. So we needed to study 1.3 and it has least amount of content available. I think I read some from morning till evening, like some 8 to 10 hours. I was reading these thesis papers, kind of PDFs available online about ethno-archaeology, different areas. We read around 60 to 80 papers in total. Like we searched, from there we compiled so many examples. Some 10-20 examples of ethno-archaeology in different like hunting, foraging, fishing, pastoral, peasant. In each one we found around 5-6 each. So many examples we found and we kept. Some of them are the ones everybody will be knowing, but apart from that we also got some other content. Actually me and my friend together did this exercise because it was very tedious process. I remember this as one of the most difficult days ever in that entire preparation time, because we were hectically reading so many PDFs from morning till evening for getting content, because this portion content is chapter 2 is there, no, paper 2. So what you can do is for some topic like linguistic element, ethnographic element and other demographic profiles, so many subdivisions are that everybody knows. I think I took content from EPG, then I added it with Akshat Jain sir's book. It is commonly available. Keep that content. Then Indian population also content is popularly available. I mean, so many content is available. Again, factors influencing, no, there also you can bring so many thinkers. If you just dig deeper, you can bring more thinkers understanding about how these factors are there in Indian population. So that you can bring. Then apart from that, take the previous year question set, because this is the area from where questions not in the syllabus they are asking. 10 markers can come. Possibility of like here you can give content for Aryan invasion theory or like Negrito debate. So many sub questions are there, but it is not clearly mentioned in the syllabus. Please Google and have more clarity about like who are the original inhabitants of India. That is again a debate going on, right? Who exactly was the first race? It is debatable. So for that you can get the content. And then again, I think there is also in those portion there is one in this demographic profile, no, I think there is one particular subsection where content is very less, but it is there in EPG. Can you please note that down as well, so that I will particularly post that, because those were topics for which we don't have content, so which comes underneath the syllabus. Like it is not there explicitly there in the syllabus, but they can ask the question, and they have asked also. So previous year questions, please take extra content whatever is needed, then Google it, then take sources from EPG or IGNOU or all those popular sources available. Then sacred complex, like I said, no, I used to take those individual thinkers book and then I used to take content. Then nature man spirit also you can take. Actually I even found one study about how this Theyyam is there in Kerala. So Theyyam is one art form, but it's a religious art form, and how this Theyyam is related with the the people living nearby, because when this person is wearing this costume, he is considered as God and he is revered. So but apart from that, no, the costume making that is made from the natural resources available in the place. So again it is that nature man spirit complex is coming into picture. So this is one study done by some other, I think it's an Indian thinker only, but I somehow got this paper by this person itself. So someone was asking me, did you quote that person? In this case I quoted that person, because this was this person's study, but it is also a nature man spirit complex. How it is interlinked, it was they were explaining it. I use such extra case studies were done. Then again this impact of Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity, we can brainstorm. We can brainstorm and bring content, that is one. Again we can bring innovation like drawing the map and showing where Buddhism is there, Jainism is there. Any kind of innovation you can bring, and that subdivision example I was talking about now. So many dimensions coming into your answer, because when we are putting this extra dimensions, it shows that there is this holism or comprehensive addressing of question that is coming. So that way you can tackle these areas. Then again, if you have content paucity, like if it is Islam or something, no, I think there is one question, Islam and matrilineal coming into being. So that is studied by Leela Dubey, right? So you can go and get the case study done. So when you are talking about impact of Islam on Indian society, you can also talk about Islam and matrilineal, this book you can give as case study. So like this you can use whatever extra content you have, or you can go and find out as well. Then again Christianity also, how this Christianity, the tribal part is also there, no, how this tribal religions, so the tribal aspect also you can bring here, you don't have to keep it standalone there. Then village studies also, that sociology books are there, that I did, I will mention all these books, I mean okay, and then I did it along with that Sanskritization, Westernization, modernization, those also I did extra reading from sociology books and thinkers. Directly I took the book and I did. So there when you are asking how to pick the thinkers, there are some common, Say Yogendra Singh has done study on modernization and westernization. So I took some content directly from some things he had written. This was available in the book I was talking about. One book I was talking about, you were not here I guess. I was talking about one book in which so many original thinkers articles were there.
You were talking that you will post it. Like
Yes. I think it is something, I don't remember exactly, but I will check the book's name and I will post it. Then again, linguistic and religious minorities is there, no? Common content, then subdivision, you can increase the number of subdivision, that is how we can bring innovation in that topic. Then tribal situation, so the entire thing is there, no? Tribal problems, developmental projects, all those areas. I did SASA committee first, but then I did not understand how to apply it. Then I did Akshat sir's books, which was really good. Then I did, I also did Mandar Patki sir's book, notes are available now. I used that for value addition. So Mandar Patki sir's note also had extra content for tribals. So those were really helpful for me. And once I understood how these, Mandar Patki sir and Akshat Jain, how they were applying that knowledge and everything, then I started doing more Googling. Then I took content from EPG, then I took content from, internet. Then I started taking case studies wherever I could find. I even took once, there was a supplementary in Hindu. So my friend and I was preparing, so she told me there's a good article by one person called Ayesha Majid. So she was actually talking about some issues about Nicobarese tribes after they got relocated from Nicobar Islands during tsunami. They got relocated, but then government intervention, they started providing ration and they started giving them money and built shelter for them. But what happened, this was not how their culture was. Like they had barter system, and they did not have money, right? They did not use money, so they did not know how to use money. So then issues started coming. Then unemployment happened because their original economy is not in place. So those problems of tribals, she almost touched almost all the elements in that. So this case study I can put in any of the problems of tribal if they are asking. This case study I could put. So like this I was taking content from anywhere I could find content for case studies I was taking. So
while reading a committee report, it was from front page to last page or like what?
Yeah, initially I read that first time of revision, first time I was doing, I read it. I never read it again. Because I could not apply it. Then I started finding in Mandar Patki sir's book and Akshat sir's book that Kaka committee report, it is there, written. So then I only took that because that was a very bulky book for me, then I did not use that book.
So ideally we should pick points, Kaka committee recommends points from Akshat
If
sir's book and...
you can do both. See, you can read, why I read the report is that the report clearly explains the tribal situation in India. The first time you are reading the primary source, you will get so much understanding. Even if it is not for note making, you will understand better. So if somebody is doing tribal India for the first time and they are reading the book, they will get a very good picture. Then you can use it as a resource, or you can just leave it and take resource from some other secondary source as well. Okay, so that is why I never used that book, but it was very helpful in the first time to understand what is the tribal situation in India. Then I was more or less relying on EPG materials for this tribal India. So much is available. Then I did watch that the Rajya Sabha TV has some programs now. So I used to watch that as well, and whatever got stuck into my mind, I used to write it as case study. Because it got stuck in my mind now, that particular story I have watched. Then I also took content from YouTube by simply googling about different tribes, and then random contents we will find from some other place. Like I remember in Kerala, I think it was in Wayanad or something, anyways one place in Kerala, they were having news told in one tribal language in Kerala. So this is beneficial for the tribals living in the region, right? So one of my friend told me this particular article, he sent it to me, it was in Malayalam. So I read the article and kept. Fortunately we had one topic called tribal media. So I used that example here. So this is how we can, we might stumble across something related to tribal India, try to, write it somewhere and use it. or make it a point to use it, keep it ready to be used wherever you can apply. I mean, it's not actually using, it's applying whatever you know. So this is how I did tribal. And again in tribal, that Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, that element is there, bring maximum subheading. So many case studies you can find here. See, if you take impact of Christianity, take any take one tribe of your choice in Northeast India where majority are Christians. Just Google, some news article will come. From that you can write a case study. How that how the Christians and non-Christians in that tribe is having issues, or the Christian tribals and other religion tribals will be there of other community, how they are having issue. From this you can create your own unique case study. From the news articles you can take this. Then again for Buddhism also you can do this. News articles will be there. Sometimes luckily you will get some Buddhist tribe will be there, some Christian tribe will be there. Then multiple usage you will get. You can use in both. Then these examples you can again use it in the other portion. Impact of Christianity in Indian society also you can quote the same example. So this was the multiple use I was talking about initially I was talking about that. Then tribe and nation state I also did not do much. What I did was that like Akshat sir's approach, I covered the regions and one example each I collected. I think extra I did America also, because I was also interested in that Red Indian struggle during the time of that 1700s and all. The Red Indians had some issues, so I used to read that out of curiosity, but so I took that content as well, and then I created a case study. So in each of that I had case studies in the nation states, but it was a very brief 1 page or 1 paper content was there, but I covered all the regions, so that if at all they ask I will have something to write. Then India also we have to write something and keep from India also. Then this role of PTG and all, it is completely Mandar Patki sir's book only, that content only I use, PVTGs, but then I value added from EPG like that. Then history of tribal administration, all those areas, if you have clarity issues, please read more and get a chronological understanding like you do for history. Exactly what is the administration, how it changed and everything. Analytically, please try to understand that and have your own analysis, how it was, how it changed, what was the nature, all those things try to comprehensively cover, because they can ask anything specifically for 15 marks. Then there is role of anthropology in tribal and rural development. This is also again you can try to use our own knowledge about anthropology, then we can bring up with so many points, then we can ask someone whether it is correct. Like role of anthropology in rural development, we can use the rapid appraisal technique. Like that, so many things we can bring. Actually, entire anthropology we study in different paper 1 and paper 2. Most of them we can bring and show here as examples. It is a very rich topic where you can use your knowledge to make a content. So like that I created some 15 to 20 points each for role of, and I kept that. Then 9.3 again, this is some topic that nobody has much content. Regionalism, communalism, ethnic and politic movements. I don't know what I did, but I did so much googling, because it's not freely available in the internet as well, but I did get some fingers and stuff, and it is there in my note. I think I will again mention some of the fingers, then you can Google and find out most. And I got some quality content from the test series. The test series content also I got some content. So this is how I studied the whole thing, and I brought that value addition and all those parts. So this is one area I wanted to talk in detail. Then when it comes to test series, so as I told, I took 3 test series. The major objective was that here mostly sir's nature is he will give 6 out of 10, then 8 out of 15 and 12 out of 20 on a standard basis. If I don't get this mark, I will ask him why. Like, because there might be some reason why he did not give, 5.5 he might have given. Where half mark, why did he not give? So he knows something, or other people have written something that I have not written. So I used to ask why. So like this I used to discuss all the papers with him. After getting the paper, I will call him and I will ask in detail. Sometimes, I think rarely, once or twice I got 12 and a half or 8 and a half. There also I asked why. Because we have to know why, what made us get that mark. Then only we can implement it in other answers. That is something he don't naturally do. So I asked why there also. So this was one thing I did. Then again I used to I might have written something completely wrong because my conceptual understanding was not well. Then I used to ask him. Then he used to tell me what exactly that was. I think my synthetic theory of evolution, I had some issues. Then again that biological and cultural factors, there are some standard 6 points that we are supposed to write, but I think I had some other framework which then I had to correct it. So this kind of correction and understanding or assessing, self-assessment was useful through test series. Then paper completion was not an issue for me. I used to, because in Balasar's papers at least 1 or 2 questions I won't be able to write because content will be like I may not know the topic. But in actual paper also it will be like that, because for paper 1 the thermoluminescence I did not know, but I had to manage something. But in Balasar's paper also usually it was like that, like for 230, 240 marks I would be writing the paper, then I will be getting it corrected. So so it was close to the actual thing that was there. So this was then in this particularly in my paper 2, I could feel that familiarity of writing was there. Most of the questions, we had question like cultural diversity and multiculturalism. So this question, suddenly when we are getting it is kind of hard to write because it is not there in the syllabus. I don't have notes for it. But sir had asked cultural plurality in test series. So we will do some kind of thinking while writing the mock. So we will have some familiarity. So with that, the same kind of thinking mindset I could write this answer. So, but anyways, I may not have got good marks for that question, but what I meant was that familiarity was there. So it is easier to frame some answer. So like this Northeast tribal unrest, he used to put questions. In both the test series I had got 1 or 2 questions from this Northeast part specifically. So either I will have content or I may not have content, then I will go and get the content. Like suppose, I think I remember one time there was a question on how this tribal unrest is occurring. I had to explain with the, not tribal unrest actually, ethnic conflict occurring. I had to write with some particular state. In the case of some particular state I had to write or something like that. Then I remember I went and read on Khasis. How this Khasis, Christian Khasis and those who are following Khasis are there. Khasi, that language and everything is there. So the Khasi language itself is getting declining, and there are so many issues like their music is there, so many things are there which is dying. So I got this content from there. So it can be used in any of the questions for Northeast related, we can use the content. So in this way from the test series I used to go for extra reading, which was later useful. And for the actual exam, this Northeast tribal unrest question especially, it was useful because I was doing this extra reading. After writing the mock paper, I may not know, I will realize that in this particular area my content is weak, I will go and read extra. So it was helpful like that. Again, I think another question was structural transition. One question was there last year, I think in the question paper. Explain how structural transformation in economy is affecting traditional social relations in agrarian society. That is a application. That is not a direct question. But if you study, practice writing such kind of questions, when you get this question, you can tackle it like a GS question. I mean GS question in the sense not writing general answers, but that addressing the question and subdivisions, those kind of questions, because we are from anthropology background, most questions are direct, like look at this question, discuss impact of Forest Rights Act on livelihood and culture of tribal people of India. Everybody will know what will be the subheadings needed. That addressing the question is not a big challenge in anthropology for most questions, but suddenly the question I just said before, the 8A of paper 2, that will need that GS kind of answer writing, that structuring has to be done. So this also we have to practice, that is what I felt, because we might get some extra mark in that particular question had we practiced it before. So this is what I think you should focus when you are writing test series. Like we need to practice direct questions as such, because there also we can test, you know, actually like I said, that answers, no, I mean my notes, they were pre-made. Like if it is suppose it is content for relevance of typecast continuum, I will have content, direct content, 10 marker content, I can take it from my typecast note and write no. So instead of that comment we write 7 minutes, no, 10 marker, 6 minutes, actually 6 minutes I guess. 7 minutes. So 7 minutes, maybe this particular question I can write in 6 minutes, because I don't have to recollect that. So for that also we need practice. So this is also helpful in test series. This is how I found test series helpful. And since I wrote 3 sets, one of them were full of only direct questions. And it is during that time I started completing the paper. Like initial time I took sectional tests, I could not complete. I would leave 50 marks and all. I will write only for 200 marks. But in that second set I was writing very direct questions, just the words from the syllabus will be there in that test series. I mean that was some test series I told, I found it online, some expired test series, just the questions were there. But it was good for practicing answer. Then I started completing paper. Then prelims mains gap I did again L2A. By then I could at least do 230 to 240 marks content I could write. Then this answer writing I told, no, every day we were doing, that was really helpful. That peer review was also very helpful. There we were writing previous year question only. So that was real, because then if at all we don't have content for that particular question, no, we would go and find the content as well. So it was very helpful. Then skipping questions, actually someone asked me, did you skip anything? Actually I did not. I was like, you know, even for content like evolutionary trend, one topic is there in primatology. I took 10 mark content and kept, but not general content. I went for Legros-Clark, one thinker is there, Legros-Clark. He is a very famous in paleontology. So I went to his original book and took content for evolutionary trend, particularly he had told some points. I took that and kept. Insurance, like if there is some topic that nobody is preparing, for insurance I will keep 10 marker content for all topics. That was because otherwise we can't, you know, if at all it comes and if we write, no, we will have some advantage.
Like for that thermodynamics question, which you told you did not prepare, in exam how did you tackle that?
Yeah, actually I will read the question once more. I did write content, thermoluminescence dating, no. So I just, actually I knew what does it mean by thermoluminescence, means some light energy is falling and it will illuminate. I just wrote what I understood. I just wrote what I understood. I think it was only 1 page or something. Then I wrote some limitations from my understanding, what could be some limitations. Right now I am not able to recollect, but I did have some understanding. Why? Because when I was doing the dating chapter, no, I had some more understanding about that radioactive dating. So I was able to come up with 1 or 2 points for limitations also. And I think that was correct also, the limitation I wrote, but it was from my understanding. But from the word itself, see, in biology and in this anthropology, one thing I understood is that from the word we can take some meaning, and that meaning will be correct only. Most of the 90% of the time it will be correct. And if at all, we just have to write what that meaning is, then itself 1 paragraph that is there. So I did not skip, and this is how I wrote. And then I wanted to tell what all question sets I picked. This was one question I got. So on paper 1 I took question set 4. In 4 the questions were scope of anthropology, that question I got. Then that uniqueness in the field of other social sciences. So 1.2 also I did from Telugu Academy and this Akshat Jain sir's book, and yes, those 2 only. But I was able to tackle this question somewhat. I could do justice to this question. Then major branches of linguistic anthropology, I had content from Telugu Academy. Then discuss language use in socio-cultural settings. This was that Ember and Ember content along with Akshat Jain's one answer is there, no. So, one second, actually excuse me, I want to attend this call, so can you stop the record? Hello, it's audible, right? So, then the other question was chromosomal aberration. That question also I could handle, because like that subdivision I was having, no. So, with that I could write. Then the question set was question number 6. That also again I told, right, I had some extra case studies for adaptive responses and all those things. But here I think that 6C I couldn't answer well. I had content actually in my note. I got it from Upadhyay and Pandey, but I couldn't recollect in the exam hall. I could only recollect, I couldn't recollect the whole classification, but somehow I managed. Then question number 7 also I wrote. Yes, question number 7. This is from paper 1, and paper 2 I took, since that origin of IVC I knew, I could take 2. So it was easy. The other was Upper Paleolithic distribution and characteristic feature. Again I had note, just had to write what was there in my note. Then morphological features and phylogenetic position of Ramapithecus I had note. So since 2A I could do the full set. Then I did 6. 6 was also direct. The first question, that impact of FRA, that was content was there. Then factors influencing fertility, like I said, I did that brainstorming. So I had some thinkers and I had some other content as well. Then factors responsible for malnutrition also, I had some extra content and some case studies. Already I had from EPG and from EPG and some other sources. I had some content already through that googling. It was there. Then 8th question also, it was direct question. Like I told, the first question, that structural transformation, it had to be tackled, that addressing the question is where you can score more mark, because your understanding of how that agrarian society and how that transition occurred, if you are able to put it into words, then you will get the mark. Then delineate constitutional safeguard for religious minorities in India, that is again standard content, no? There again, actually, since it's 15 marker, we can put some case study and show some religious minority where the constitutional safeguard is there, but it is not being properly implemented. Because while writing constitutional safeguard, we will also write the issues, no? Because it's 15 marker. So there, if you bring some case study, it will be some, it will be a good thing, no? Then identify the causes of tribal unrest with that question, no? That was again, like I said, since I had practiced it, it was easier for me to address it.
During section selection, did you have a plan beforehand that you will attempt those questions in which tribal area is more?
No, I did not. No. Actually, why? Because see, I used to fear that those kind of strategies can backfire. But if at all questions don't come, no, we will get panicked. So I gave equal importance to all the topics. Every topic was a possible area from which UPSC can surprise me. So I was giving equal importance. This is like I was trying to find ways in which I can be good at all these topics. I mean, it's not like I became good at all these topics, but that effort I kept on doing it. So slowly, that paper 2 I was initially not very good at, but slowly I started getting more marks in paper 2 for test series also, which was again surprising. But because paper 1 is where I put more effort, like if you hear me talking, you will understand. I had referred more, but paper 2 is where I was getting mark. I think in paper 2 our answer writing skill matters, like how we address the question, how that flow, and how the question is very, how the answer is relatable, how you can showcase your understanding, that will improve the marks. That is what I understood. So maybe you can spend more time in that understanding part of paper 2, not in the factual part. Factual part, there is not much work needed because content is easily available. They will ask direct questions, and with the techniques I said, like case study or some application knowledge, you can stand out. But in that case, caste studies and village studies, or in tribal India, if you bring more analytical understanding, then it will be better. And so I actually touched upon all those parts. Then generally for the GS and optional, what I believe is that the answer writing skill is very important. Like how a writer will be practicing, they will know some technical aspects of how something has to be written, be it a book or an article. There will be there will be a proper structure, there will be a dummy structure, then there will be how the introduction and how the conclusion should be, and then how it should flow. And if so, since it's an answer, it should completely address the question. So this is something we have to train our brain, be it GS or Anthro. And once we start writing answers, even if our content is very less, we can write answers. Even without content or even without understanding, we can write answers. And then the person evaluating will tell, your content is poor, but you have addressed the question beautifully. If you are getting feedbacks like that, it is actually a good point, it's a good sign, because that addressing answer part is the most difficult I struggled with. It took me that 2 complete years, and only during prelims mains gap only that addressing of answer, that part got completely solved. But once you reach that point, we will get the confidence that even if content is lagging, we will be able to do justice to the question. So because content is lagging means for everyone that content will be lagging. I mean generally, all the serious aspirants will not be, most of the serious aspirants will not be having content. So with the way in which we write, with which we can compensate something, at least half or 1 mark extra we can compensate. So this also I wanted to say. So I covered all the common queries I got. Is there anything more?
And what was the strategy on Ministry of Tribal Affairs annual report? You used it or?
Actually, I went through the report to see all the programs and other things, and I did take some examples. See, the way in which I take examples, those are the ones I can relate or I can remember easily, I will take them, or those that have more relative importance, those also I will pick up. That's how I was picking up examples.
And can you highlight the process, like when you are referring a research paper or a book, how you selectively got examples from it? Because until unless we are not studying that book, it is
see,
difficult to extract the example.
one PDF you took, you spent say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you are not understanding anything, then you won't be able to get content from it. But some PDF you are reading, initially introduction you are reading, you understand that okay, this PDF is going to in detail explain the problem for which I need an answer. But you can't read the whole thing, then you will just skim through it. Then you might just stumble across one point that could be taken. You will, even in articles we do this, from newspaper articles also we do this, we skim through it and we see some point, we will stop there, we will read that, from there we might take. Sometimes while skimming nothing will come, then in the summary, in conclusion or summary, they will again in paragraphs they will write, maybe one page or 2 page it will be there. Read that part, from there you will get some understanding. From there at least you will get. From any of this portions I said you will get something. Sometimes it is in the introduction itself, like some standard definitions will be given. So like that I take point. Then I also wanted to talk about that note making and answer writing. Every word in the syllabus I made notes, and the notes were like dummy answers. I mean not dummy answers, answers itself. Like if at all they ask it as like tribe caste continuum, I had say I think 3 or 4 pages. So according to the marks I can compress or write the whole thing. So, but for some topics I will have content only for 10 marks. If they ask more, I will like mostly those questions are that I am expecting to come, not in the syllabus. But for every word in the syllabus I made proper 15 to 20 mark content notes, 3 to 4 pages, sometimes even more, like contents like that. 1 minute I have to check. Paper 2 there is one topic in judge money system. I had more content than required because subsections are also there, that can also come as 15 mark. Is it egalitarian or egalitarian or no there was another word, exploitative, egalitarian or exploitative, then that for that itself we need 15 marker content. So like that, then these portions it will be bigger notes. But all my topics, I had that division. Even in paper 2 I tried to bring that subdivision, so many subdivisions. as much as I could find. So that it was easy to study also. So while revising, like you said, I know that under egalitarian I have written 5 points with 5 thinkers. So I just have to recollect whether I am able to say all the thinkers and their book's name and the concept they have explained. This is how I was revising from these notes. It is easier because it's fully compartmentalized. So this is how I was making the notes. So I tried to comprehensively cover everything. Is there any more doubts?
In the final exam when we write, it is very difficult to remember all the names. So like how often do you use to quote in answers? Like for example, out of 20, how many would you quote?
See, I can't exactly say the number, but obviously if I study 5 points with 5 thinkers, I will only remember 3, I mean on an average, because it's, I mean, there is some limitation. No?
In tribal, there are case studies. So can we use case studies which are 2-3 years old, or should we use the latest one?
Yeah, actually I had both. I mean, for those I couldn't find new case studies, or like some case studies are really good, no, even if it's like 2017 or even very old case studies, even if it's really good, then that is enough, no. But for some it will be like we might stumble across some, like this Ayesha Majid one I found, I talked about, no. So then I found that out, then I could write it. Then I wrote it as a new, this was in the new 2021 article, no. So then I used that. Then like I said, some newspaper I will take one tribal and I mean tribal group, and I would search some news on them. Then I might get some story, then that will be a new case study.
Depends on quality.
Depends upon quality and how good I feel that case study is. But if at all, that old ones are also equally good, right? Is there anything more? I hope I was helpful. Yes.
But between pre and main, how many tests did you give in total?
I took that 8+2 set was here, no. I took that, and I also wanted to write like Shubhan sir has written between that 1 week, no, GS and optional. I wanted to write previous year paper, but I couldn't. I took the whole 5 days to revise. I couldn't write. He revised in 2.5 days and took test, then revised again. So I tried that approach, but his strategy. He did after GS, no. He quickly revised for I think 2 or 3 days. Then he took the test. Previous year paper 1 and paper 2, morning and afternoon. Then again rest 1 or 2 days he studied. Revised again, then took the actual exam. That was a very good strategy. I wanted to do like that, but I tried, I could not. So, yeah.
Why you could not?
I couldn't complete revising, like it will take so much time. No, my notes itself I have to read, and 2 to 3 days I took to revise paper 1 itself. Then I understood it won't work for me. It depends on individual, all these strategies. No? So I took only 1 full test, paper 1 and paper 2, rest all sectionals only I took. But then again I took that 8+2 one. Sir provides I think 6+4 and 8+2, 2 types were available.
10+6.
Oh, yeah, when I was looking I considered these two, either 6+4 where I think we will get 2 full tests and 6 sectionals, and in 8+2 there will be 1 full test. But why I took the 8+2 is because then sectionals I could focus more. So that content studying part I could work more on.
And during prelims, between prelims and mains, along with writing this 8+2, did you see any other test series like not join
No.
this before?
No, I did not do anything. I only wrote L2A. I also did the previous year analysis. Oh my god, I forgot to tell one thing. There is always repetition. 1 year if they ask, next year they won't ask, then the next year they will ask. That pattern is there. Then also there is some continuation, like some topics if they ask for 10 marker, then they will ask 15 marker in detail. Then reverse also, 15 marker one new topic, then next year they will ask for 10 marks. Such patterns are there. So those also you can identify and be prepared. And in EP, actually some of those questions, I mean those questions that like I think molecular anthropology once came, no? Once or twice it came, molecular anthropology. Not molecular anthropology. I don't remember. Huh? I think it was molecular anthropology only. So anyways, such topics came. They were their EPG Pathshala material had the PDF. So had one read that PDF, they can write something. Even if we have not prepared notes. So that EPG Pathshala, they have given so many PDFs. At least just go through the headings and see you find something and you have no idea what it is. Maybe you can at least read it once or twice and keep. Just familiarize the concept and keep. So if at all it comes, it can be tackled. But I don't know if it will come like that, but in previous papers I found that pattern. So that was there. Yeah, this was another thing I wanted to say. Then again, every day I wrote, okay, I mean in the month of October and November, every day after 9 o'clock I was brainstorming questions for GS, and anthropology I wrote 10 marker, 15 marker, 20 marker, one each. So 10 marker 7 minutes, 15 marker 10 minutes and 20 marker 15 minutes. This I used to write in that time limit itself. This I kept on practicing daily. This previous year question only.
This will be after completing the syllabus.
No. Every day that whatever I had completed, no, I wrote. That could be something I studied 1 month back or 2 weeks back or on the same day, whatever.
How were you doing your revisions, like side by side or after completing one iteration? Then
Actually, revision went on according to the test series. Sectionals I had to finish, no. So with sectionals I was revising once. Then for full test we will be studying and revising. So two rounds, right. So then in between GS and optional one more round was there. But apart from all this, every day after 9 o'clock I did not study. I was writing answers. 9 o'clock in the night I stopped studying, I started writing answers. That previous year question I was writing. Yes, and I did see some of the questions, like just to see what other test series people are putting as questions. But I just found either it is very extremely tough questions that is like not related to syllabus, so I did not attend that. I mean I did not go and study those topics because no time was also there. No, maybe if I had time, out of curiosity I would have went and read, but pre-mains gap is very less. And other test series I found direct words are again being asked. Again it was useful for me to reach that paper completion stage. Like I said, no, I used one free test series, freely available one I used before prelims.
what is that?
I don't remember the institute name, that's why I was not telling. I think, I don't know, I don't remember. It was some old test series, 2016 or 17, that type of pattern also, like simply from syllabus one word will come, no? Like that, it was like that only, so I don't remember it.
Were you doing your GS and optional side by side or?
Side by side only, because weekly I was doing sectional test for GS and optional.
Same day?
Not same date because it is hectic, right? So initially these things actually did not go as planned and all, because like initially I planned I will write optional on Saturday and GS on Sunday, but I ended up writing Sunday night GS, I mean optional, then Monday night GS, then Monday is also gone, then from Tuesday onwards I will be studying, and I think towards the end I was writing GS on Tuesday night. So these kind of things for me, it was not like exactly planning one thing and doing, it never went like that. But I also had some health issues between my prelims and mains. I just had some COVID related, post-COVID health issues was there. So that also created the delay. But it's better to stick with the Saturday, Sunday way in which you can write answers, I mean you can write the test series.
2 days per week, one for GS and one for
Yes. But I made sure that I did not skip that.
As you were saying, you used to practice 3 questions daily, right? Is it related to the topic which you are studying now, or?
On that particular day. Sometimes that particular day's topic, otherwise any random topic I already studied.
Okay, from the previous year.
Previous year. That way we can revise, no? It's one revision exercise also. So like that. Failing prelims once only I started test series, no?
after doing prelims.
After failing prelims once, I joined test series thinking I will clear prelims, and then so I had enrolled. So I started taking them. But if you have time between that, once you finish the syllabus only, you should start. That is what I feel, because otherwise, this you won't write the test series and you won't finish the syllabus. So this is from my my understanding. But some disciplined people can do both. While studying itself, they can take the test series. Because initially I was focusing on understanding the subject, then I focused on how I can write better answers. That is what, if at all I stumble across, or if some of my friends might tell me, hey, I saw this news, and there's one Andhro News Telegram channel, no, I followed that, but just if I am studying one topic, then I will search that topic in that set and I might read the articles. If I find one or two interesting articles, and sometimes I will take content from it, but very limited only. But I think it is good for paper one if you do more. I did not do much, but it will be good for paper one.